So think of this as your time to get dedicated coaching and support for your business, your time to get questions answered for your business in an absolutely free capacity. So that is what we are here to do, and I'm super excited. I want to give you some updates really quick first, because these are critical updates, because this Facebook group is going to be closed down in a few days. But even before that, what I want you to know is that you need to submit your raffle tickets for the prizes that we are drawing literally tomorrow. Like, the prizes are epic, and you have until midnight tonight to submit 2 things. So number 1, submit your completed dashboard. I'm going to put that in the chat. Oh, cool. You guys are here. Ben Cow, hello. Ray, awesome. Karen, perfect. Make sure to submit your dashboard, monicalittlecoaching.com/submit. That is the dashboard that we worked on during the live training. Make sure it's completed. My team will double check to make sure it's actually filled in. One time someone submitted a bunch of photos of their candles, and my team was like, no, you are not getting your 10 bonus entries. That doesn't count. So fill that in. From watching the replay, submit it. Which I also want to let you know that the replay is available until end of day tomorrow. So if you haven't watched it, monicalittlecoaching.com/replay. Make sure to get that watched and finished. It's a long training, but it's so much good information. People said it was literally the best 4 hours that they've spent in a really long time. So trust me when I say that if you haven't watched it, you should. And you got until midnight tomorrow to watch it. The other thing to do to get a raffle ticket is to share your biggest takeaway in the Facebook group. So just create a post and say, my biggest takeaway is, and let me know what you learned, what resonated, what breakthroughs you had, how it shifted your perspective of business, of yourself. Just let me know, because I love to see what's impactful, what's really sticking with people, what's clicking with people. So that's another way to get another raffle ticket. So you have until midnight tonight to submit any of that for raffle tickets. The prizes will be drawn 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we have a $100 Amazon gift card. We have $100 worth of products of PBA members, a little PBA member goodie bag. We have the gift of 3 of my most impactful books that I read every single year. We have another prize of a journal that I created, a mindset journal and planner for small business owners. And we have some CEO swag, which is another prize. And then there's the epic grand prize of a free VIP experience into Product Biz Academy. And that is the full experience, including a free rebrand or a free photo shoot that you can get, that you can win from these prizes that we are drawing tomorrow at 9 a.m. So submit your details, watch the replay, all that fun stuff. Make sure you have that done and dusted by midnight Pacific tonight, okay? Next thing I want to mention really quick is I will be sharing with those of you who are watching here live, or if you catch the replay and watch this to the end, a very special bonus at the end of this live Q&A. I love to incentivize you guys to hang around and listen and learn. And I have something epic I'm going to share with you at the end of this live Q&A. It may have to deal with the rebrand and the photo shoot, the day 1 bonus that was available on Monday and went bye-bye after that. So if you missed that chance, you're going to hear a little bit more about how you can get potentially some of those opportunities coming your way, okay? So what we're going to do today is go through questions from the live and then workshop your product promise. So product promise is something we talked about during the training. I'll go into that a little bit more, but it's workshopping something that you actually can tactically walk away with and have clarity on your business. But first, I want to say, if you have any questions about your business, pop them in the chat. If you're like, I'm stuck with this, what do I do? Or I want to do this, what do I do next? This is your time. Literally, people pay me thousands for coaching. And think of this as your time to get any question answered. I'm going to start with the questions that I have here. I would love to know what resonates with you as I go through these, if it relates, and then I'll pick up any additional questions in the chat too, okay? So the first questions that I want to answer were a couple questions that came through about wholesale. Now, wholesale is selling your products to stores, and then stores sell your products for you. It's a fantastic way to grow your business because you're getting exposed to brand new people, not via social media, but via a store that's promoting your products, has their own audience, has their own customers, and maybe even has their own email list. Probably has their own social media, and you're getting exposed to all of their people in areas around the country and even around the world. I have so many of my members who have their products sold in like Sweden or Italy or being shipped internationally, which is absolutely crazy. Now, the question that I got here was, how do you grow your wholesale business? And how do you get your products into local stores? Is anyone here doing that currently, trying to grow wholesale, get into local stores, and grow that side of their business? What I will say is there's a couple things. To get your products into more stores, there are 2 avenues to do it. Then I'm going to give you the caveats because there's always a caveat. 2 main ways. Number 1, get your products up on Faire. Faire is a wholesale platform where store owners and boutiques and shop owners come to purchase products to sell in their stores. So having your products on Faire is a great way to get into more stores, and also store outreach. So literally finding stores, pitching your products to them, and having them say, yes, I want to stock your products in my store. I'm so glad you reached out to me. Those are the 2 ways to do it. And it seems pretty easy, right? However, there is marketing strategy that goes into every single one. And this is going to come back to a lot of what we talked about on Monday's training. So first thing that you have to know is when you are selling your products on Faire or reaching out to stores via email, if your branding is not freaking top-notch, spot on, you are going to have a really hard time getting into more stores. Because you have to put the hat on of the store owner. They want to have products that resonate with their audience. They want to have products that stand out on their shelf. They want to have products that are going to make them money. They're not just buying products for them to sit on their shelves. They're buying products to get a return on it. So the biggest mistake that people make is they just put their products up on Faire or they email a ton of stores, yet they have no branding. They don't know their differentiator. They have black and white labels that they made on Canva themselves, or they hired a designer on Fiverr for $150 for a logo, and they think they have a brand. So if you aren't getting traction on Faire or via email outreach to stores, number 1 thing you need to look at is you need to have a sophisticated brand. That's why in Monday's training, we spent so much time talking about being more sophisticated than the market you sell in versus trailing the market. Because store owners are not going to invest in you, trust in you, buy your products if they are not confident that they are going to get a return on it. Now, here's the other thing that happens with wholesale and getting into stores. Not only are wholesale opportunities going to assess your branding, your labels, your photos, they are going to look at your social media pages. Usually, I would say Instagram, because this is how a store owner will get trust and understanding to, number 1, know your brand. What type of people follow you? Are you getting a lot of engagement? Are you actually getting followers? Do you have followers? Is your following growing? And you don't need to have tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers. However, store owners will look at your social media pages, your Instagram page, and instantly know yes or no if they are going to purchase your products. So for those of you who aren't on social media, who aren't on Instagram, you're already losing massive opportunities. And those of you who are on Instagram but don't have your brand presence on Instagram, don't have a vibe on Instagram, don't have a loyal community on Instagram, don't have a growing following on Instagram, you could be on Faire and you can email as many stores as you want, but it's not going to work. That's why during the training, I talked about those steps and I said they're sequential. You have to have branding. Then you have to have a social media presence. Then you can have a complete e-commerce presence with Faire, with getting into stores, with Etsy, with Instagram, with your website. But you can't do that without the branding and without the social media presence. So if you are someone who's jumping around and not doing things sequentially, you're going to have a really hard time. And it's going to be really disheartening when you reach out to 50 stores and you hear back from maybe one. However, that is your sign that, okay, something needs to change here. Something's wrong with like the foundations of my business, and there's only room for growth. Now, this is a perfect segue to another question that we had about branding. Someone said, how do you know if your branding is good enough? How do you know if your branding is sophisticated enough? What if your branding was done by a professional? And what I will tell you is that there are strict and very specific measures of a successful brand. You know you have a successful brand when you can, number one, charge more than your competitors and people aren't batting an eye about it. Let me give you an easy example. Lululemon charges $100 for a pair of leggings when you can go to Walmart or Amazon and buy dupes for like $25. Yet why are there people like me who buy from Lululemon? It's because I actually really align with their brand. I love to be active. I love to go to the gym. I love to go to workout classes. I love to go to yoga. So I'm going to spend the extra money because I relate to their brand. Now, someone who's maybe not as active or doesn't value it as much, or is maybe just getting started with yoga, or maybe just goes a couple times per month, they may buy the dupe on Amazon, which is totally cool. But you can see that Lululemon knows their brand, knows their audience, their entire social media, website, stores, everything that they do is tailored towards the person who really values being athletic and being active in their life. And that's why they can charge so much more than their competitors. That's why there are dupes on Amazon, yet Lululemon is still doing great, selling a ton of leggings. That's what your brand does. So you can tell when your brand is sophisticated when you can charge more than your competitors and your customers aren't batting an eye. People aren't questioning it. If you are trailing the market, you may have to compete on price. And I think that's where a lot of small business owners get really, really, really stuck because their branding is not sophisticated. So they only get sales when they're the cheapest of the cheapest. And that's a sign that your branding isn't aligning to anyone. Your branding isn't sophisticated. Your branding isn't standing out. The other ways that you can tell that you do have a sophisticated brand is when your followers are increasing on social media, because that's when someone lands on your Instagram page and is like, yep, I'm all about this. I love this soap. I love these cookies. I love this skincare, because they align with your brand. It's an instant yes. And if you're trying to be for everyone, you can see you're not going to get an instant yes. You're going to get a lot of, maybe, this is cool. But you're not going to get follows, engagement, and growth if your brand isn't sophisticated, okay? And the last way to know that your brand is sophisticated is if you're standing out on platforms like Etsy, like Faire, you're getting actual replies from stores when you reach out to them. Those are signs that your brand is sophisticated. And if you're feeling the opposite of all of those, cool, you've identified a major place for improvement. Now, another caveat, this does not mean go to Fiverr and get a $150 logo. This does not mean ask your friend who does design on the side to help you out. Get it done professionally. 100%. It's going to be a game changer, and this is going to be the only thing that supports your business. That's why I offer a free rebrand in PBA. On Monday, I had offered that. Now, I said stick around to the end because we may talk about this a little bit more, a little bit of a hint. However, that's how important your branding is. And I have a professional brand designer on my team who's fantastic at what she does to support my members so they become more sophisticated, so they get more sales, so they stand out on these platforms. Okay, so that is my spiel on wholesale. I'm going to pause and check the chat. Ben Cow says, currently on Faire. How are things going on Faire? Tell me, are you getting 10, 15, 20 new stores per month, or how are things really driving? Colleen says she has her products in a few local boutiques, but looking to really grow. Beautiful. Colleen, if I'm not mistaken, you joined Product Biz Academy, so we're going to get to work on that, which is so much fun. Angie said, I wholesale. I want to move away from Faire though, and I'm stuck on whether or not I should have a Shopify app or have a separate website. Angie, why do you want to move away from Faire? There are over, I think now, I'm going to totally mess this number up. I think it's 80,000 or 800,000 retailers that shop on Faire. And I know those are two drastically different numbers. But either way, there are so many retailers that sell on Faire. I would not move away from Faire. Yes, Faire does charge a pretty big fee, bigger fee than Etsy. However, your pricing has to be right to do wholesale. And if your pricing isn't right, you're going to lose money. And you're especially going to lose money on Faire. But if your pricing isn't right, is it because you're trying to be the cheapest? And are you trying to be the cheapest because you don't have a sophisticated brand, so you can't compete at a higher price, so you have to be the cheapest of the cheapest to make some money? Can you see how it all comes back to your brand? Can you see that? So Angie, let me know why you're considering moving away from Faire. I would never recommend that personally for the exposure, for the relationships. Of course, your pricing has to be right though, if that's your concern. Bees Better Biscuits, we are on the wait list. How long does that take? Amazing. The Faire wait list, there's two things I will tell you. Actually, let me just tell you one thing. Two things. Reapply after like 6 months. However, make some massive changes in those 6 months. Faire will check your Instagram. They will check your website or your Etsy shop. They will check your branding. And they're pretty selective because they know the impact that they make and they don't want to be too overly saturated on certain categories. So here's another example of why you have to be more sophisticated than the rest. Why you have to stand out, because their people are looking. So I would reapply within 6 months, but make some massive changes. Your social media vibe has to be spot on. If you have a ton of social media followers, it's easier to get on Faire, which I hate relying on social media followers, but that's what they do. So if you are on the wait list, it comes back to being sophisticated on social media with your brand, with your website, and all those places to up-level. Ben Cow said, when is the best time to launch holiday products? Okay, cool. I'm going to add that for my questions towards the end. When is the best time to launch holiday products online and create hype? Cool. Great question. Daniela said, hi, I signed up for PBA. Amazing. I have a question on rebranding my business. I have a cookie business, social media rebrand. Okay, we'll talk about that more maybe towards the end of this call too, okay? Ben Cow said, for Faire, only a few orders, but I haven't been doing outreach. Yeah, even if you only have a few orders on Faire, I would say there's definitely room for growth with branding, photos, social media to get more orders for sure. Faire is very hit or miss. Exactly what I just mentioned there as well. Currently on Faire, but have very few hits and have only gotten a few orders. Okay. Is that making sense to you all of what I mentioned and how to get more orders on Faire with your branding, with your social media, with your website? Because store owners are looking at that. Let me know with a yes or a no if that makes sense. But if you're not having any luck on Faire, that's truly it. And that's why we spend so much time in Product Biz Academy on those fundamental, foundational pieces. Because a lot of people jump to Faire thinking that once they get accepted, they're going to have all these store orders. But it's another e-commerce platform. And what works on e-commerce is having a fully flushed out marketing strategy. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more too. Okay, let me know if that's making sense. I'm going to answer one more question about wholesale. Is it possible to reach your goals without wholesale? I would say anything is possible. However, like we talked about on Monday's training, when you're selling products that are $15, $20, $25, $50, even $100 each, it's a game of numbers. If you want to have $100,000 in sales and you sell $15 soap for $15 each, you got to sell like 6,500 units. Now, if you want to take that pressure and put that backpack on of let me sell 6,500 units on my own, cool. You're going to be climbing up a pretty big mountain. Or you can leverage these other platforms like wholesale to help you do it. When you get into more stores, you're exposed to their audience. If you have your website on your label, which you should, and your Instagram on your label, which you should, those people can now find you on social media. Then they may buy from you directly. Then they may become loyal followers. Maybe there's another store owner who's browsing stores in the area to see what's new and up and coming, and you get exposed to that store owner via that way. There's so much benefit for wholesale and the exposure that you get. And not to mention, you're getting some pretty fat checks shipping out your products, not having to do any of the marketing side in terms of social media or email. You just ship your products to them and they do the selling. That is like butter. That is like all day. I want that because it's simple, it's effective, it's easy, and it's just about getting that foundation set up to actually be able to have that happen in your business. Okay? Cool. Maybe a rebrand for Fair. My sales were great, now slowing down. Okay, cool. Renee, we can talk about that too when we get to the other platforms. Let me just make a note of that. Sales slowing down on platforms. We can talk about that. Great question. Okay, so that's my wholesale spiel. When we talk about branding, I'm probably going to just mention one more thing on branding because there was another question on how do you increase brand awareness in a saturated and noisy online market. This is by having a sophisticated brand. If you are in a saturated market, your job is to stand out. Your job is to do something different. Your job is to be specific. Your job is to have a niche. Your job is to know who you're speaking to. And where so many people get stuck is that they have a ton of hobbies that they want to turn into a business, and now they sell 1,500 different types of products across 1,500 different categories, and there's no brand awareness that can be built because it's not actually a brand. It's more of like a consolidated hobby that's trying to make some money. And I know that can be like a tough pill to swallow, but when you have a business, when you have a brand, you have to be so specific in who you serve that it almost feels like you are removing yourself from the wide majority of people. And this is where the product promise really comes into play because that's the only way that you can stand out. Let me give you a very quick example. I was at the farmer's market buying some meat from a local grass-fed meat company that comes and sells meat. And they also sell pickles and red onions and fun things like that. This couple came up next to me and they asked the question to the vendor saying, "Hey, what do you put these pickled red onions on?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a good question. I've never had pickled red onions, but I'm interested. I like onions. I like pickled things. This sounds pretty cool." So I was kind of eavesdropping, right? And there was this really young girl, it must be the daughter of the vendor, who was there. And she goes, "You can put them on everything." And right away, my brain was like, "Oh, I'm not interested. You can put them on everything. That's not enough specificity for me. That's not bringing a vision to my head. That's not making me want it." And it was funny, the people who were inquiring, they made a funny question. They're like, "Can I even put it on ice cream?" And then the young girl, it kind of clicked with her. She goes, No, but you can put it on steak tacos. You can put it on nachos. You can put it on top of a burger. Or if you really like hummus toast, you can even put it on top of your hummus toast. And then I was like, "Can I have one of those, please? Add it to my order." Specificity. That is what you're trying to do, to be super specific on what your product does, who it serves, who it's for. Because if you try to be for everyone, like these red onions that can be put on anything, you end up being for no one. And so many small business owners are in that trap. So if you're struggling to build brand awareness, it's because you're not niche enough. You're not specific enough. And when I talk about being specific, I can give you some examples of some of my members. Kelly from Maddie and Me Handmade, she makes beautiful headbands, and her audience that she tailors it towards is busy moms. Now, can anyone wear these headbands? Sure. Do people who are not moms wear these headbands? Yes. However, her content and what she talks about and how she positions it is, if you're a busy mom and you've got kids you're running after and you want to feel put together, get one of my headbands and put it on before you go out the door, and you're going to feel a million times better. She's being specific on who she's speaking to. Then if there's a store owner, to bring it back to the store example, who knows that they have a lot of moms who come into their store, maybe it's a lot of new moms, maybe it's stay-at-home moms, and it's this little posh store that stay-at-home moms love to come to, I don't know, on a Wednesday, whatever the reason may be, right? That store owner can now be, "Ooh, this is going to be a good product for my store." Or that Instagram follower that lands on that page, "Ooh, I'm a busy mom. I want to feel more put together. Let me follow this page. Let me see what these products are. Let me go to their website." So brand awareness is all about specificity, okay? Cool. Which takes us to the next question about social media. We're going to talk about social media, then other platforms, then website, and then we'll do some more cues then. Social media is a love-hate relationship. Actually, for most people, I want to say it's like a hate-hate relationship. I love social media, not because of the comparison or the judgment or how people are glued to their phones and how it's a highlight reel. Like, yeah, that stuff sucks about social media. However, I love social media because it's a great way to learn marketing. It's a great way to really drill down and know if what you're saying and what you're doing is landing with people. So the question that I had from one person is, how do you get followers on Instagram? And you guys are going to hate me when I say this, but it is two things. Number one, a brand that connects with people. And number two, good content. I was talking to someone earlier on a Product Biz Academy discovery call because she wasn't sure about joining and had some questions. So we talked and then she ended up joining, which is awesome. But one thing that she said is that she's really struggling with social media because she's being consistent, but she's not seeing results. And what I told her is it's not a matter of consistency. It's a matter of creating good content. It's a matter of knowing how to sell on social media. It's a matter of knowing how to get people intrigued by your posts. It's a matter of just creating quality content, and you know that it is quality content when people are engaging with it, leaving comments, sending you DMs. And if that's not happening, you can be as consistent as you want, but it's not going to lead to anything. Consistency is not the answer. It's quality content that relates to your target audience that leads to results, that leads to people sharing your content, that leads to people tagging you when they receive your product because they're so excited to share about it because they love your brand. So success on social media, getting followers on Instagram, that is a brand that stands out and connects, and high quality content. Now, during the training, I talked about a couple different avenues. So viral content is how you grow your audience. Someone had said, one of the questions, I don't have it written down, but someone had said, well, earlier you mentioned you don't need to have a lot of followers, but now you're saying viral content, so which one is it? And you don't need a lot of followers to be successful. However, you do need to be growing your following to be successful. Because if your following is stuck at 1,000 for the last 3 years and you're not growing, well, you're not getting in front of new people. When I say viral content, I don't mean like you're going to go viral and get 20,000 followers in a matter of 2 hours. I mean shareable content. I mean content that your followers are like, oh my gosh, I love this, relatable, and they share it. And then other people see it, so then you get more followers. Because the person who just shared it is obviously your target audience. And they probably have people in their network who are also part of your target audience. And then that leads to followers who now come and follow you. So yes, getting followers on Instagram is about viral content, and I'm going to change that to shareable content. That's what matters. And you can create shareable content when you know your target audience and you know what they like, what they don't like, what makes them laugh, what's relatable, what are they interested in. And for every single one of you, it's going to be different depending on the business that you have and the products that you have. And this is where the work comes in, because I wish I could tell you all, just go on Instagram and do a 6-second reel of your product and then have a call to action that says, comment soap to buy my soap, and have it blow up. I wish that's how easy it was. There's actual strategy that goes into Instagram, and it will take effort and energy for you to figure that out, to understand what actually leads to more followers and what leads to more sales. And with that being said, that's why I created PBA, to have all the Instagram strategy in there so you can learn selling tactics, marketing tactics, FOMO, social proof, trust, and that you can take that to your business and bring it in dependent on your target audience, your followers, and create content that actually stands out to them, okay? Does that make sense about Instagram? I have a couple other questions about Instagram. Let me know a yes or no in the chat if this is at least making sense. A couple other questions I had. How do you encourage people to share your site on social media so you can reach more people who appreciate your mission, your product, which leads to more sales? I had just answered that one. When people connect with you, when people connect with your Instagram, an emotional connection, when they connect with your product, when they connect with your website or wherever they purchase from, when they connect with the unboxing experience, they are going to share and tag your products. 100%. Now, if you are, let's say, the dollar store, do people go to the dollar store and then post about it on social media? No. Do people buy Dove soap and post about it on social media? Probably not. But if people buy something that they absolutely love, that's unique, that has a brand that stands out, that they're so excited about, are they going to post about it on social media? Yes. So how do you bridge that gap? How do you bridge that connection between, I'm not a dollar store, I'm not a Dove soap, I'm not a commodity, I am XYZ business, and here's what I stand for, and here's how I'm different, and here's my vibe. And getting people to buy into the vibe of what your business is. And that's why everything starts with branding. Everything. Every single thing starts with branding. Okay? Is there a correlation between Instagram following and sales? Yes and no. Yes, because when you have more followers, you can sell to more people. However, no, because if you have 100,000 followers, yet you don't know selling etiquette, yet you don't know selling words to use, you don't know how to close a sale, you're not going to have many sales. So yes and no. But most people only focus on followers. You don't need a ton of followers. One of my members who I shared on Monday's training, Daisy, has less than 3,000 followers, yet she sold $93,000 worth of her skincare products last year once we started working together. And before we started working together, she was selling at 7 different markets per week between herself, her brother, an employee. They were each going to like multiple markets per week. So you don't need 10,000 followers or 15,000 followers. Should your following be growing? Yes. Should you be creating high quality content that sells for you? Even more important. Let me see what other questions I have here about social media. As an introvert, this is such a good question because you guys, I'm a huge introvert. I don't know if you know that, but me talking for 4 hours, if you would have asked me that like 10 years ago, I would have said, no, thank you. I would rather jump into the ocean off of a 100-foot cliff, okay? So this question is for my introverts. And if you're an introvert, let me know with a yes in the chat. As an introvert, how do you do social media without showing your face to gain followers and have people trust your brand? A lot of people ask this question, and here is my honest truth. As a business owner, everything that business growth is personal growth. And your business will grow to the extent that you are willing to grow. So if you are an introvert and you aren't willing to grow past that, if you aren't willing to grow past your fears of showing your face, if you aren't willing to grow past your fears of strangers on the internet judging you, if you aren't willing to go past your fears of your friends and family judging you on the internet, if you want to stay and hide behind the camera for the rest of your business career, you are plateauing your business 100%. It'll reach a certain level of success, but every level of success requires a different version of you. So maybe if you're an introvert, you're like, yeah, I've hit a certain level of success currently. Cool. Your business will grow to the level that you grow. So your next level of success is to learn how to show your face. Learn how to get comfortable with it. Learn how to not give a shit what people think about you, right? Like, oh my gosh, isn't that a great skill to learn? And isn't it amazing that your business is a catalyst to let you learn that skill? And then your business is going to grow. And then you're going to hit another plateau and it's going to be like, okay, cool. What skill do I need to learn? What lesson do I need to learn? Who do I need to become to go even further than this plateau right here? So if you are trying to avoid what is required of business in order to grow a business, you're going to, I don't even know what to say. Like, good luck. Good luck. I wish it was that simple. I wish we could all just not have to show our face and make millions and millions of millions. But listen, you chose the path to do something that 99% of people will not do, right? Most people will not start their own business. Most people would rather go to a 9-to-5 where they don't have to go out of their comfort zone. They just show up and do the work and get paid. You, with your business, are on a different path. And you have to do what 99% of people won't do in order for this business to be successful. And if you're not willing to do what your business needs, then your business is not going to grow. And that's just fact. Like, that's just law. That's truth. So I totally understand with introverts because I'm a massive introvert. However, if you had strategy, if you knew what to say, what to post, what to talk about, would that alleviate some of the stress of showing your face? If the answer is yes, cool. Find a way to get that support and that strategy so you're less in your head and you're more like, I'm just executing on this strategy that I have right here of what I need to say. Okay? A little bit of tough love, but what I told you guys, oh my gosh, Ben Cow, you are so welcome. I'm a little spicy. I mean, I told you guys that. Maybe you got it from Monday's training. I don't know. But a lot of people think they want a coach when really all they want is a cheerleader, right? A lot of people want someone to say, you're doing fantastic. Just keep going. You're doing amazing. And then that person may feel good, but they don't actually see different results. So I'm someone who I'm going to call out the shit that isn't working solely because I want you to see actual results and I want your business to actually grow and I want you to see what you're capable of. I have so much belief in every single one of you, every single small business owner who has a passion that you can leave your full-time job, you can grow your business, you can take your family on a vacation, you can support your family, you can contribute to your family's finances, and it's going to require cutting through a lot of this shit. So whenever I get spicy, just know it's from a place of love and compassion and wanting the best for you. And a lot of times being the cheerleader does not lead to change. And if there's no change, well, then nothing changes, right? Okay. Amazing. We are, Ben Cow said, I do have followers on Instagram, but it's from people from markets. Do I follow their Instagram account back? Good question. I don't think you need to follow every single person back. For example, if they have a personal account, which it's private, I wouldn't follow them back. That's if it's private, that's for their family and friends. I'm not going to follow them back. If it's not private and they're sharing stuff that doesn't correlate with your business or you don't think it's going to lead to any partnership or anything, I wouldn't follow them back either. The only people I would follow back is I jive with you, you're speaking the same language, you're sharing the same content as me, or I know you, you're a friend, you're someone who I talk to at markets and I see every single week, let's be friends on social media type of thing, but you don't need to follow back every single person. However, it's great that you're getting followers from your markets. Cool. Every single person that walks into your booth at a market should leave a follower, 100%. Okay. We are going to, great question, Renee, about getting a virtual assistant. Let me add that to the end question. What's your fave place to find a VA? I have the world's best VA. She's been with me for about 4 years now. She's fantastic, so we can talk about that too. Cool. We're going to talk about other platforms, including Etsy, including Amazon, including Google and Facebook ads, all these other platforms. And if your sales have been slowing down on platforms. Great question that we got during the chat. So let's dive into that. Number one, let's talk about Etsy, the controversial Etsy. I don't get why it's controversial. Let me tell you guys a secret. I don't get it. Etsy is fantastic. And maybe that's our little secret that we don't let other people know this, but the question here was, do you still recommend Etsy? Yes, 100%. So many people shop on Etsy. That should be the only reason I have to give you as to why should you sell your products on Etsy. Because so many people shop there. You guys, I shop on Etsy all the freaking time. I bought in the last like month a few things on Etsy. I bought a new printable wall art for my bathroom and 3 for my living room. I bought this really cool concrete soap holder. I bought soap bottles, shampoo bottle, and also oil and vinegar bottles on Etsy. What else did I get? I was looking for salt and pepper shakers on Etsy, and these are not like my members. I buy from them a lot too, but this is just random stuff that I bought on Etsy. But I'm telling you this because here's the reason why I bought those things on Etsy. I couldn't find anything like that on Amazon. I was actually looking for soap dispensers and oil and vinegar dispensers. I went to Target, I looked on Amazon, and everything freaking sucked. It was like, this is ugly, this is gaudy, I don't want this. And the one I ended up buying was from a business in London. Had these super cool oil and vinegar dispensers, and I was like, screw it. I'm gonna pay $80 for oil and vinegar dispensers. Yes, because I love them. This is the vibe. This is what I'm going for in my kitchen. This is what I want. So I bought on Etsy in the last month, and just as an example, because I couldn't find stuff I wanted on Amazon. I couldn't find stuff I wanted at Target. I also would rather support a small business. And if it's something that I know small business owners make, then I'm going to go to Etsy. Now, what happens here is a couple things. Number one, most small business owners like you and I have a lot of friends who are small business owners. So when we want to buy from a small business owner, we buy from them directly. Or we buy from them when they're our neighbor at a market. Or we do a trade with them, right? We're this little like community. But what I want you to know is the average person who is not a small business owner, when they want to buy from a small business, they go to Etsy. I have a friend who says she tries to do 100% of her shopping on Etsy for the holidays. 100% of her holiday shopping. And I have so many other friends that when they're redecorating their kids' room, they go to Etsy. When they're doing this, they go to Etsy. And they always message me. They're like, oh, I love that you work with people who sell on Etsy because I buy on Etsy so much. And I'm like, yes, I wish my members and people in my audience understood that so many people are going to Etsy. And even though you maybe don't shop at Etsy, or you find other ways to support small business owners, the average person doesn't know where else to go other than Etsy to buy from small businesses. Trust me when I say the average small business owner, if they are looking for an engagement gift, let's say an anniversary gift for their parents, and they want it to be something unique, they're not going to go to Google and like try to find a small business because they know that everything that comes up on Google is probably going to be a big business. They're not going to go to Instagram and like look at their followers. Am I following anyone who does anniversary gifts for parents or in-laws? They're going to go to Etsy. Now, this is why I love Etsy. And I also love to do what most people don't. And when most people say Etsy is evil, I say, let's figure it out. And I have only found that Etsy actually is a great resource. And yes, they charge a fee. Cool. Such is life. Welcome to business. There are trade-offs. There are fees. If you don't want to pay fees in life, like good luck. Because number one, you pay taxes. Those are basically fees for like living, right? Where else are we charged fees? It's just the nature of running a business. And it's 6.5%. And if 6.5% is too much, your pricing is not high enough. And if your pricing is not high enough because you think you have to be the cheapest in order to get sales, then your branding isn't supporting you. You can see how this becomes an ecosystem. Okay? So yes, I recommend Etsy. Do I suggest selling on Amazon? Here's my unfiltered opinion on Amazon. I will say number one, master Etsy first. Etsy, when you think about it, a lot of people struggle with Etsy is because they have their own website and then they copy and paste their website to Etsy. Or they use a little Shopify integration where it's like, what you have on your website will now be on your Etsy. But you have to realize that Etsy customers are completely different than website customers. Your website customers are probably most likely people who follow you on social media and know you. Maybe they bought from you before. They're warmer to you. When you sell on Etsy, it is to a completely cold stranger. If someone knew you, they'd probably buy from your website, right? So you cannot just take your website and put it on Etsy. It's not going to work. You have to think through that this Etsy customer who lands on my Etsy listing has never, ever, 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 ever heard of me before. What do I need to convey via my photos and via my description for them to feel confident that they have all the information that they need to purchase from me? And that's the frame of mind for Etsy. Now, why I say master Etsy before Amazon is because of a couple reasons. Number one, understanding and knowing how to get sales from a cold audience like Etsy customers who've never heard from you is going to help you massively with Amazon. Because Amazon, on the flip side, is, I personally think people are a little bit more ruthless on Amazon. Like, people return a lot of stuff. People are more looking for commodities. They are looking for more of price sensitive on Amazon, versus on Etsy, people are looking for items from small businesses. And in my case, like, I'm totally cool to pay more, and there are so many people out there that are totally cool to pay more for small business products. Versus when I go on Amazon, it's like, if I have to buy, what's something I recently bought on Amazon? What am I waiting to get? Soap. If I'm buying dish soap, I want to find a non-toxic natural dish soap, and then I'm going to get the cheapest one out of the non-toxic natural options, right? There's not really like much brand sway there. There's not really much emotion there. It's more of commodity purchases. So those are some of the reasons why I say do Etsy first. It will help you with Amazon. However, I still think there are drawbacks with Amazon. So if you were to prioritize one or the other, I say Etsy 100%. Also with Amazon, I only had success with Amazon ads. And I did that for a couple months. I actually hired someone to do the ads for me because it is a massive beast of a project in terms of understanding the reporting, what keywords you want to be seen, what keywords you don't want to be seen. There's a lot that goes into it. And after about 3 months, I about broke even, all in. So did I get in front of some people? Sure. Didn't see a lot of residual benefit from that. So I say Etsy, way better. Amazon is a tough beast, and I think it's not 100% necessary. It's not worth it. Some people do have massive success, which is great, but that's just my unfiltered opinion, okay? Now, if your sales are slowing down on platforms, this is such a great question. If you've been on Faire, if you've been on Etsy, even social media, even Amazon, if you had massive, massive, massive success and things are starting to slow down, here's a couple of things I want you to know. Number one, sales and marketing changes yearly, changes with the times. I'm sure that you can imagine how something was sold 50 years ago is much different than how it's sold now. And even with selling on places like Etsy, there's sophistication in every single one of these platforms. And it's another example of if you are not staying up to speed on how to be more sophisticated than most Etsy sellers, how to be more sophisticated than most Faire sellers, then you are going to be left behind, because the people who are successful on those platforms, I'm going to tell you honestly, are the small business owners that are doing things that others won't. I think a few years ago, when really small businesses popped off, think about like COVID time and pre-COVID, I think that's really when small businesses were really exploding, and it was like the Wild West, Wild West. You could get away with anything. You could sell soap with a black and white label, and you could make thousands. But now it is more competitive. It's more competitive on Etsy. It's more competitive on Faire. It's more competitive on Instagram. It's more competitive on every single platform out there. So what I would say is, if your sales are slowing down, are you changing with the times? Or are you still trying to sell like it's 2019 or 2020 or 2018? One person in the live training had mentioned how when she first started her business, she got an awesome deal with, I think, a Las Vegas casino, and it was making $10,000 per month. And then COVID happened. They ended up canceling their monthly orders from her, and she's been struggling ever since. And one thing that I said to her, I'm like, might rub you the wrong way, but it's the honest truth, is sometimes people get lucky. And I hate when people get lucky because then you don't know what led to it. You don't know what caused it. And when it goes away, you have no idea how to replicate it. It's just like, it was working. I had no idea what I did, but it was working. You should know that every single step you're taking is leading to a result. Nothing should be luck or by chance or like, oh my God, I'm so glad that worked. It should be understanding. It should be knowing. It should be intentional. I intentionally did this. I intentionally did that. And this worked, so now I can intentionally recreate it. So I think a lot of small business owners probably 5 years ago plus had some relatively easy success. It's like when Instagram first came out, everyone was rocking and rolling. And now if you want to be successful on Instagram, you have to create really freaking good content. However, I personally think that is a blessing. I love to be challenged to be my best. I love when my members have to up level. I love when you show yourself what you're capable of and you show yourself what you can do, and you become so proud of yourself and the business that you've built. So it's not about just like doing the bare minimum, because the bare minimum is going to get you the bare minimum. It's about doing what no one else will. That's it. If you do what no one else will, you are going to stand out. No one else is paying for professional branding. No one else is signing up for programs to learn how to grow their business. No one else is dedicating themselves to learn online marketing. No one else is taking Etsy seriously. No one else is elevating their photos to be standout and stellar and professional. No one else is elevating their labels so that they stand out on shelves. People are just trying to do the bare freaking minimum, and then they expect to make $10,000 or $15,000 per month, and maybe that worked for them in the past, but newsflash, it's not going to work any longer. That's why so many small business owners are closing. So many small businesses are down year over year, and they're blaming it on the economy, but I have members who are doing way better than last year. Way better. So if it was the economy, wouldn't it be that everyone would be affected by it? And sure, the economy is different than it was a few years ago. However, that doesn't mean you can't be successful. Let me give you a couple examples. One of my members, Fit Mama Foods, she makes protein bites and protein bars. She had her best summer ever this summer. She joined PBA in January. She started to do less markets after joining, and she had her best sales summer. She said normally sales in the summer are really low, but she had fantastic sales months. So why is that? Versus I just saw on Instagram, someone was saying how they're down 60% year over year. I'm like, yeah, some people are, because they're not evolving, they're not iterating, they're not changing. But my members are seeing massive growth. Another member makes handcrafted home goods like benches and frames and trays and things like that. She said June and July were her best months, and she hit 4 figures on Etsy when before she was barely selling it all on Etsy, and she's had more orders than before, which is fantastic. I have some members, Laura, who makes jewelry, who already surpassed her 2023 sales. So, and this was like September. In September, 9 months, she had already made more than she made in 2023. And we haven't even hit holiday season, which is like where so many sales come in. So if your sales are slowing down on platforms, it's because there are people like my PBA members who are coming in freaking guns blazing, and they're taking share. Absolutely. And it's the question of, are you willing to do that as well? Are you willing to go above and beyond and do what other people won't to stand out? Okay, cool. Is this making sense? Are you guys having fun? It's a lot of talking for me, so hopefully it's impactful. Daniela said, that's amazing. I agree. Can I also get a PBA in the chat if you joined PBA since Monday? I recognize some of you. I know Daniela, Colleen, Ben Cow. Type in a PBA in the chat if you are a PBA member. And my chat is a little delayed. I know you guys are some PBA members, so I'm waiting to see who chimes in so I can give you a special shout out. Okay. Type that in. Ooh, Daniela. Awesome. I'm going to keep jamming. The next question that I have is on ads. One question is, how do I use Google and Facebook ads efficiently and cost effectively? Facebook ads, Google ads, can we just spend a ton of money and instantly make millions of dollars back? That's what most people want to do, right? Here's what I will say. Do not even consider Google ads or Facebook ads until you have branding in a good spot, until you have Instagram in a good spot, until you have your website in a good spot. And what does in a good spot mean? Your website is converting at least 3%, if not more. Your social media has a cohesive vibe. Your Instagram following is growing by 5% per month, if not more. Your branding is standout and sophisticated. Here's why. You can spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on Google ads and Facebook ads, but if your machine is broken, you are putting money into a machine that isn't going to move, that isn't going to go anywhere, that isn't going to lead to any results. You first have to fix the machine. And ads are when you are scaling, which means everything is working. The machine is built. The machine is thriving. Now let's get as many people into it as possible. But until you are in that spot, you will waste money on Google and Facebook ads, 100%. What I will say here is also a great way to know when you're ready for Google or Facebook ads, when you are at that scaling phase, is you take a social media post that did really well, and that's what you put money behind. You do a Facebook ad campaign with that post. Now, what do I mean by a post that did really well? A post that led to sales. If you don't have a post that's leading to sales, what are you going to promote on Google ads or Facebook ads? Something else that doesn't lead to sales? And when you put more money behind it and get more people in front of it, is it going to magically lead to more sales all of a sudden? This is why we work in sequences. If there was a next step on the training, I used to do a step in the training about scaling, and that's where like Facebook ads, I say even email marketing. I think people prematurely spend so much time on email. I think Pinterest even, like that's when you're in the scaling bucket. Those things come later. Get the basics, the social media, the impulse purchases, the platforms that actually lead to sales, and get a good base there before you go into these more uncertain avenues like Google ads and Facebook ads and things like that. Bees Better Biscuits. If we sign up for PBA, do you help us master our Etsy store? Yes, 100%. Etsy is one of the modules that you get inside of PBA, and my members see incredible results on Etsy. I have members who have over 2,000 orders on Etsy after not wanting to do it and fighting me on it. And I said, listen, trust me. I have members who made $20,000 in sales just on Etsy compared to when they were trying to do Etsy on their own. They had 300 in sales across 1 year. I've had members grow to 1,000 orders on Etsy. Etsy is fantastic. I love it. So yes, Bees Better Biscuits. You learn Etsy. Absolutely. Cool. Ben Cow said, totally agree. Need to build a good foundation first. Yeah, 100%. And this is where you can start to see that people run their business backwards. But people also run their business trying to find the easy way. And that's why my training is different for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm giving you the actual strategy, the actual blueprint, versus like, here's how to do Facebook ads and doing a train. I could do that. I could do a training on Facebook ads. I could have you guys all start Facebook ads, and you'd probably all lose money because you don't have the foundation there. And so many trainings and so many people will be like, sign up for my Facebook ad training, sign up for my email training, sign up for my this training, TikTok shop training. And it's like, if you don't have the basics, those will not work for you. If you don't have the foundation, I don't even want to say the word basic because it's not basic. It's actually sophisticated. It's actually serious. It's actually what leads to longevity in your business. But it's the foundation. It's the fundamental things that people don't even have. That, yeah, you're going to struggle no matter what you do if you don't have these foundations and if you don't understand them. Cool. Okay. Website. Let's talk about that. We have a couple questions here. How do you increase conversion on your website? I'm going to talk about this in both Etsy, Fair, pitching your products to stores, and website, okay? So how to increase conversion across the board. What I will say is your conversion on any of those platforms is going to come down to knowing who is shopping on those platforms. Like I mentioned earlier, your website shopper is way different than an Etsy shopper, which is way different than a boutique owner buying on Fair, right? Knowing who that individual is. And then you have 3 main things you want to do to get results and increase conversion. Number 1, you have to appear in the search results. When someone types in something, this is maybe not for a website, but for Etsy and Fair, you have to appear. Like people type in something, you have to be on that first page. Are you showing up? And you also have to attract attention by having a kick-ass first photo. That main photo better make your product stand out, which goes back to branding, which goes back to labels. You can see how it's all interwoven, okay? Then when we talk more about actual conversion, there's confirming expectations. And you do this via your description and your photos. Your photos are not just photos of your product in multiple different angles. That is the worst use of photo space on your website, on Etsy, on Fair. You should be educating through your photos. You should be evoking emotion through your photos. You should be sharing how it's different in your photos. There's strategy that goes with every single photo on any e-commerce platform. And same with your description. You don't just list the benefits or list the ingredients. Cool, that's necessary. However, every single photo and every single word on any platform, from website to Etsy to Fair, is marketing. And most people just put whatever comes to mind, and they just put some stuff up and some photos up. You have to assess every single one of those of, is this getting people closer or further away from purchasing my product based on who they are? So now you can see, oh my gosh, like conversion, there's actually a lot that goes into it. But we take it one step further, which is trust. People need to then trust your product. Trust comes from having a sophisticated brand because they think you're credible and legible with what you're doing. Trust comes from having professionally looking website, professional photos. You can imagine we've all been to like sketchy websites, right? Where like, is this a real website? If I buy this right now, are they going to steal my credit card number? What's going on here, right? Those sketchy websites, you have to build trust by having a website that looks legit. You also can give trust through having reviews, through your policies. There's so many ways to give trust to people. And shameless plug, I give you all of these steps for every single platform inside Product Biz Academy. So I share with you, what content do you need on your website to increase your conversion? What content, photos, description, keywords do you need on Etsy to increase your conversion? What content do you need on Fair to increase your conversion? What content do you pitch to stores via email? Like, what's the email pitch? Do you need a wholesale line sheet? Yes, you do. And I give you a template to fill in even for that. So the reason I don't go into specifics on this is because we're going to be here for 36 hours diving into every single one. But just know that your job is to appear, to confirm, to give trust. And once you do that, and only when you do that, will your conversion increase. This is another example where people want, just tell me the one thing to increase my conversion, Monica. Like, tell me the one thing. And I'm the bearer of bad news. It's not just one thing. It's your brand essence. It's your photos, it's your description, it's your labels, it's the words you use. It's all marketing. And it's all a beautiful dance. And I love it because it's complicated, but I love it because I get to share it with you and make it less complex, less complicated, so you can actually put it into practice and see results there. So that is how you increase conversion. Appear, attract, confirm, trust, kick-ass brand experience, sophistication. That will get your conversion up. Now the questions here we also have about website is, how do you drive consistent traffic to your site? I personally love social media to be the driver to your website. Then Etsy drives new people to your Etsy shop. You don't got to do nothing there once you've optimized it. Faire, if and when you optimize it, will get store owners to you there. And I like to use social media direct funnel to your website. That's your people. That's your warm audience. Drive them there. Now, if you do email goes to your website. And then we can also talk about SEO. SEO will also go to your website when people go to Google to type in something similar to what you sell and your website coming up. SEO is another one that I say people think will magically fix their business, and it doesn't. So people incorrectly fixate on SEO. People incorrectly weigh the value of SEO. If you really want to drive traffic to your website, be a master at marketing on social media. That's it. If we don't have a website and strictly use Insta, Facebook, should we get a website? Absolutely. So Rachel, that is a way, that's another example of that business will serve you for a certain extent, but at some point it's going to plateau you. So Rachel, I know you said you do cookies. Are you doing everything like DM me your order? Are you that involved in the order placing process? And can you see, Rachel, that at some point that's going to be a deterrent to your business? Like that's taking your time away versus like go here, order, streamline process. I have members who do necklaces and custom necklaces because I know Rachel with cookies, they're probably custom. She's got it all on her website, like a custom process, super simple. And she's involved, obviously, in the communication afterwards, but it kicks off the process versus her being there, like taking every single order, right? So Insta, Facebook, if that's working for you, cool. And it may work for you for a continued amount of time, but at some point, absolutely, it's going to be like, take it to the next level, right? Streamline, operationalize, get that website up. I use Square Site because it links to my POS. Should I switch to Shopify? Daniela, that's a good question. I will say Shopify is the end goal. There's more conversation that we can have in terms of when does that make sense for you. I know you joined PBA, so that's probably one of those specific questions we'll have inside PBA to chat about for sure. Cool. Okay. We talked about consistent traffic. I want to talk about email a little bit more. Someone asked a question that says, how do I start an email list? I know I should send emails, but how do I start it? Okay, here's my spiel on emails. I'm the bearer of bad news. Number one, if you're considering email marketing, how are you going to get people on your email list? Okay, let's talk about that. Number one, people who've bought from you on your website can subscribe to your emails while they're checking out. However, how many people are you having on your website? And if you don't have a lot of people on your website, what did we just talk about how to get more people to your website? Social media. So have you mastered social media to get people to your website, for them to purchase, for them to be on your email list, or is social media the root cause that needs to be addressed here? Option number one. Number two, how are you going to get people to your email list? And another option is if you have some sort of like discount or freebie. And how are you going to promote that discount or freebie? Probably on a social media platform to get people onto your email list. So that's my gripe of like, if you're focusing on email, but you don't know social media marketing, how are you going to get people to your email list? Or are you going to be emailing the like 20 people that wrote down their email address at your market on the piece of paper over and over and over and over and over again while your email list isn't growing? Next thing I'll say about email marketing is if you are sending an email, you have to know a subject line that will captivate their attention, that will get them to open the email. And then you have to know what words and photos to use in that email to get them to your website. And captivating content with words and photos that lead people to your website is the exact point of social media. So have you mastered social media? If the answer is no, then why are you trying to do email when it's the same thing? Same exact thing. Only when you've mastered social media does email make sense. Otherwise, you're going to be writing emails and sending it to 20 people, and they're not going to open, they're not going to click. Maybe they do it once in a while, but it's not going to be worth your time to do that. And this is another one where people think, oh my gosh, email is going to save my business. No, like understanding marketing is going to save your business. And that is what PBA is. It's a marketing and selling course. I had a discovery call earlier today, and she was asking, does this work for artists who sell prints? And I said, listen, PBA works for anyone who wants to understand branding, marketing, and selling to sell more products on their website, to sell more products on Etsy, to sell more products via Faire, to sell more products on social media, to get their products into more stores, to sell more successfully at markets, to get into subscription boxes. If that is what you want to do, it doesn't matter if you're selling dog treats or cookies or artwork or headbands or jewelry or skincare, because it's marketing and selling. And marketing and selling is the backbone of any business. You do not have a business if you don't understand marketing and selling. And let me gripe on this a little bit, because a lot of people think they have a business because they sell at markets, but you do not have a business just because you're selling at markets. Because selling at markets really doesn't require any business knowledge. You show up, you buy a tent, you make your products, you put them on display, and that is it. You don't really need branding to be successful at markets, because everyone's going to kind of walk by and check out your tent anyways, because they're there for that experience. You don't really need to know marketing, because people are going to stop and talk to you because they're there for that experience. You don't really need to know selling, because they're there for that experience. The market coordinator took care of the marketing and selling. Now, as soon as you say this is a real business, you have to know marketing and selling, because that is the only way to get in front of more people and actually get those people to purchase. And if you haven't successfully done that online, then you don't have a business. You have something that you go to a market and you sell. And this is a tough pill to swallow, but they're two totally different things, because with an actual business, you do not just like show up. You take initiative and certain skills and certain levels to get in front of people and to have those people purchase. It's intentional, it's strategy. It's not just showing up and like, here's my items. It's thought-provoking. It's putting brain power into it. It's understanding what gets people to connect emotionally and what gets people interested and what captivates attention and what gets people to actually purchase now. And the whole point of marketing and selling is to get your people to not only know about your product, but also to want your product, and also to need your product, and also to need your product now. That is good marketing right there. And most people don't know how to do that, which is okay. Because that's why I created Product Biz Academy, because I saw that. Because it took me forever to figure it out. Because it took me 4 years business degree, 8 years corporate e-commerce experience, running my own business, burning myself out, trying anything and everything to figure it out. And as soon as I did, I was like, I have to share this with people, because it's not just about showing up at a market. There's so much more that goes into it if you truly want it to be a real business. Now, here's where there's a distinction, and it's your choice. If you want it to be a real business, cool. It's going to require something of you. If you don't, if you're like, Monica, that's not what I want, that sounds like way too much work and effort and scariness, okay, like that's cool too. The beauty is, on the other side of work and effort and doing what's uncomfortable is massive change and massive results and massive impact and massive growth, both in your business and the money you make and as you as an individual. And that's the beauty of it, 100%. Okay, little tangent. I digress. Let me talk about put some other questions in the chat if you have anything. I'm going to answer a couple about that came in earlier about what is your favorite place to find a VA. Great question. So I use a tool. My VA, who has been working with me for about 4 years, is based in the Philippines. She's fantastic. And there's a website called onlinejobs.ph, which is where I hired her from. So it basically is a platform that you can put up a job description and connects you with virtual assistants who live in the Philippines, and you can interview, hire, etc. What I will say with a VA is the success of a virtual assistant is entirely up to the success of your communication, your documentation, and your knowledge of it. I would never, ever, ever recommend for someone to hire a VA to manage your social media. I would never, ever recommend to hire a VA to create your Etsy shop. I would recommend for you to have a social media strategy that works for you, that now that you know what works, you've replicated it, it leads to results, you can now train a VA on how to take that off your plate for you. Very, 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 very big distinction. A VA will not fix your business. A VA will take things off your plate that you have mastered if you want that relationship to be successful in a way that it actually grows your business. What else was I going to say on this? A lot of my members do have VAs. Oh, this is what I was going to say. A lot of my members have VAs, and a lot of my members have their VAs actually go through some of the Product Biz Academy content. I'm totally cool with you guys sharing that with an employee. You're not allowed to share it with anyone else, but if you have an employee, totally you can share it with them. For example, I give you templates in the Etsy course on how to get more reviews, how to reach out for more reviews. So you can have your VA do that. Absolutely. You've got the instructions right there. There's also templates on how to reach out to stores to actually get replies from store owners and actually get your products into more stores. And that could be something that your VA does for you as well. So that is why another benefit of PBA, which is if you get a team member or a VA, they can use the strategy and the know-how in PBA to help you execute it. Cool? Okay. When is the best time to launch holiday products? Great question. Depends on where you're selling. If you are selling holiday products for stores, like on fair and store outreach, I would say we're probably past that season. Have your holiday items ready and up by September at the latest. For Etsy, I'd say do it now and do it soon. For your website and social media, I'd say starting in November is fantastic. It just depends on like seasonality of the different avenues. Store owners are stocking their stores for the holidays a lot sooner. I mean, you guys know these days when you go into like the store in July and they have Halloween items already, okay? So store owners are definitely on a much sooner lead time, so you want your holiday items up sooner. And then Etsy is a little bit earlier, and then your website is probably the last one to come about. How to create hype for holiday? Great question. I teach that in PBA. There's a lot that goes into hype. It's social media marketing, it's social media selling, it's FOMO, it's trust, it's emotion, it's getting people in the feel. There's so much that goes into it, and I share all of that in PBA. So it's like a complete strategy because there's a lot that goes into that, but I break it down for you. Now, a couple other questions I got. Someone emailed me a couple. And they said, I know you worked with other candle businesses and other product-based businesses. What strategies did you find most effective? How I want to share a little bit more about PBA with you is how I work with my members. We've talked about a lot of different platforms and ways in this call that are also expanded upon with strategy and steps and actual action items in PBA. So for example, Etsy, hopefully you guys see the importance of Etsy, and now in PBA you get the steps to do it. Fair, maybe you guys see the importance of Fair, and in PBA you get the steps on how to actually do it and get sales on Fair. Same with your website, same with Instagram, and so much more. How I recommend my PBA members go through PBA, and we do this in the kickoff call as well, is you choose one sales generating project and you choose one behind the scenes project. So behind the scenes, that can mean branding, that can mean photos, that can mean labels, that can mean getting your LLC and bank accounts set up, that can mean going through the pricing template to make sure your prices are spot on. And then obviously ones that generate cash, projects that generate cash, social media, partnerships, collaborations, Faire, Instagram, Etsy, getting into stores, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I recommend when people join PBA to do one project that's going to bring in money, one project that's like back end work to elevate your brand and elevate your business. Why I say this is most people do get stuck in the back end work, and then they don't ever I'll say most people outside of PBA, because I really hold you accountable here, will get stuck in the back end work. There's going to be a lot of people from this free training that go and like get knee deep into branding and get knee deep into this and knee deep into that. And then they forget the selling side and they're like, where are my sales? Well, yeah, you're not actually selling. You have to do both. You have to brush your skills on both. So making sure people aren't like parked in the garage and they're doing one behind the scenes brand elevating project and one cash project. And that really is what makes it effective. People get to choose. I mentioned on Monday, PBA is kind of like a library, and you get to pick the book, and then you read the book and you implement the book. But I don't really force people to do specific projects. It's pick your own poison, or pick your own healing antidote, maybe I should say instead. And if you're like, I'm on Etsy and I'm stuck, cool, do that one. If you're like, I'm really stuck on social media, cool, do that one. If you're like, I'm really getting a lot of traction with stores, I want to see how I can make this grow even more, cool, do that one. So it's just about having the strategies there and finding the one that makes the most sense depending on where you are at in your business. So that's how I work with my PBA members in terms of getting them not to be overwhelmed and not to try to do a million things at once, and focus and actually see results. Okay, one of those projects at a time. I think that's also what makes it sustainable, because the other question from this person was, how do you assist clients with creating a sustainable growth plan? 100% right there. She also asked, how do you assist clients with setting realistic financial goals? Love this question, because in PBA, we dream freaking big. We dream big, and I push you guys to dream big, and I want you to dream big, because so often we get caught in this vicious cycle of comparison, of judgment, of unworthiness, of looking at our past and expecting our past to be replicated in the future, when that is anything but true. Anything but true. And I want everyone in PBA, and even from our time here, to start to envision a future that you can live into, that you start to make bigger moves, that you start to act differently, that you take courageous action, because that is what's required for you to actually reach those crazy, unrealistic goals. I want you to have unrealistic goals, because then you're going to do what's required to actually reach them. If I sat around saying my goal for the next year is 200 in sales per month, I don't need to stretch myself. I can keep doing what I've always done. Versus if someone has a goal of, I want to make 15,000 in online sales every month this year, they are going to act differently. And until you act differently, nothing will change. And until something changes, you will not get different results. So when we talk about financial goals, we go unrealistic, because then you're going to actually do what's required to see massive change in your business. And that's where the fun begins, okay? That is what I'll say. I'm looking at my notes over here. Cool. What other questions do you all have before we do some product promise work? And I'm going to try to wrap us up in about 34 minutes, okay? What questions do you guys have? And while I'm waiting for the questions to come in, this is a good mid-break where I wanted to share with you all a little surprise that I hinted at earlier. What I want to share with you is, if you are on this live Q&A, or if you are watching the replay, you can get the free rebrand or the free photo shoot. Even though it's no longer available, it got taken down on Monday. Monday was the only chance that you could get it if you signed up on Monday. But I'm going to do something super special for you guys for being dedicated, being committed, which is opening up that free bonus for you. Here's what you need to do in order to claim that. Enroll in PBA with the link, monicalittlecoaching.com/promo, which is also the discounted link that I shared on the live training. And then after you enroll today, just post in the Facebook group something like, I did it, I joined, something like that, I'm in, because that will be what my team looks for to, as like the secret phrase to be like, okay, this person gets the free rebrand or the free photo shoot. So I want to extend that to you because I know so many people were kicking themselves. So many people wanted that rebrand. So many people wanted the photo shoot, but they needed maybe a little bit more time just to figure it out. So if you enroll today and then post in the group our secret phrase, I did it, I joined, I'm in, something like that. Share your excitement basically about signing up for PBA. We will mark it on the back end that you have the free rebrand or the free photo shoot. Okay? My special offer, since 17 of you here are kick-ass small business owners, and also for anyone watching the replay too, because I love my replay folks as well. Okay. Daniela has a question about the branding. Yes. Rebrand for my website and social media. Daniela, you are in PBA. In our kickoff call, we will talk more about that, where I can like pull up your actual website, pull up your social media, and we can dive deep into that. So one of the things we do in the kickoff call is just make sure everyone who has a free bonus feels confident in what their free bonus is going to be. So let's dive into that more on the PBA call. But you'll have massive clarity. It'll just take us pulling up your social media profiles and working through that together, okay? It's going to be awesome. Okay, awesome. Karen said, I have all the things, Etsy, website, fair, getting orders, but zero consistency. That's why I'm here. Karen, have you joined PBA? Are you in PBA? Because that sounds like it's the solution to your problem. I have Shopify and Etsy. I've been debating making Shopify a landing page and linking the site to Etsy. They go to Etsy only to purchase. Is that a good idea? Renee, good question. Are you thinking that because your website, your Shopify website isn't getting a lot of sales? Or why do you want to just have a Shopify landing page that goes to Etsy? I do think having your own website is important, especially if you already have it. So if someone is debating between Shopify or Etsy, I'll ask them what their goals are in terms of store outreach, etc., and make a decision based on that. And more often than not, in majority of cases, starting with Etsy is great. However, that's for people who are like, I don't know if I want to invest in Shopify. Can I just do Etsy for now? It's like, yeah, let's experiment. But if you already have Shopify and Etsy, I would say keep your Shopify because that's going to be number one. If you are reaching out to stores, what your store owners will check. And that's important if you want to grow wholesale. If you're on fair and not seeing traction, that could be why. And I think also too, since you already have both, use your Shopify as a way to gauge your social media marketing skills. Because you can say, Etsy, I know as Etsy customers, Shopify is my social media. It's my effort. It's my marketing. It's me. Am I doing a good enough job? Is this leading to results? So you can have that a little bit as comparison, just like more in your face, bolder, obvious comparison, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But are you trying to just downsize for costs or what's going on there? Okay, cool. Karen, do you suggest 2 sites? Oh my God, Karen is in PBA. Fantastic. Should prices be the same on all platforms? Yes, absolutely. Yes. No matter if a different platform has different fees, it should be all the same. Number one, you just want to have a good customer experience. You don't want someone to go to one website and see different. That could leave a bad taste in their mouth. And also, when you sell on Fair, you have to agree to that your pricing will be the same across all platforms because they don't want their retailers to be selling your products for like 50 when you claim the MSRP is 50 when you're selling it for 30. Like then you're giving a disadvantage to the retailer for the price that they're selling it at. So yeah, price is the same across the board. The key with pricing is making sure you are making money on every order, no matter what platform it is being sold on. So in PBA, there is a pricing template that takes into consideration labor, takes into consideration the cost of goods, takes into consideration fees, takes into consideration overhead. So you are actually making money on every single order that comes in. So then you can be confident no matter where you are selling. Sorry about typos. Rachel, you're cool. I think I saw another artist who was doing that. I need to simplify. I'm trying to simplify. So why are you overwhelmed, Renee? I think that's the root cause. It's not going to be Shopify versus Etsy. It's going to be, why are you overwhelmed, and how do we clean up the overwhelmedness? Angie said, my shipping isn't free on Shopify, but Etsy requires free shipping. So Angie, are your prices the same for your products, but you're just offering free shipping on one platform versus another? Having free shipping on Etsy, it's not required. However, it will help your algorithm if you do have free shipping. So what I would just recommend is, if it's free shipping on Etsy, it's still the same price. Now, does that mean it's a little bit less economical for you on Etsy because you're offering free shipping there? Maybe. But in that case, your pricing should be spot on, where it doesn't make or break you. Can you raise prices on Etsy? Okay, so you are saying to have different pricing. I would have same pricing on Etsy, even if it's free shipping. What's happening is probably the second thing that I said. Maybe you're not charging enough across the board, so you have to add in free shipping. You can add in a buffer across the board and increase your pricing. There's a lot that I talk about that inside PBA. I actually have the pricing template goes through a free shipping option where shipping is bundled in versus non-free shipping to assess the different profitability. So that is going to totally depend on your products, the cost of shipping, but you just need to be careful there. You don't want to do anything that's too starkly different, even if you are doing free shipping on one and not the other. Okay, we are going to go into, there's a couple questions I'm waiting for you guys to get back to me about, like, Renee, why are you overwhelmed? I want to know that. And then we're going to go into product promise really quick. Oh, doing free shipping and sales. I don't think I said that, Renee, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. So we're gonna continue. Okay. Who here would like a product promise review? If yes, type in your product promise. And remember, it is adjective, category is the best, only, easiest, etc. way to solution you provide. I'm typing it in. For example, superfood skincare is the best way to nurture your acne for true healing. If you have a product promise that would like to be reviewed, put it in the chat. I have a couple that I wrote down. I mentioned in the Facebook group, a couple people I would review theirs. So for those like Daniela and Ben Cow, type yours in. So I have a starting point. Using that framework, adjective, category is the best, only, easiest way. Okay, Angie, you're here because I had mentioned I wanted to talk to you more, I think. Oh, no, it was Angelica, not Angie. So we'll do both. First, let's talk about Angelica, who left a comment. Not Angie. We'll get to you, though. She had mentioned one, and I think this is a great way for you all to see the importance of this. Let me see. She had mentioned, this is such a good one. I just typed it in the chat. Luxurious desserts are the best way to bring you back to your most nostalgic memories of grandma's table. Now, when we talk about product promise, not only does it need to boldly demonstrate what you do, but also the type of product that you have. And can you guys see here that luxurious dessert and grandma's table are two opposite sides of the spectrum? When we think of grandma's table, we are not thinking of a luxurious dessert. When I think of a luxurious dessert, I'm thinking of like the Lindor truffles where they have that commercial of the woman like biting into it and it has the center that's all like gooey and has the caramel in there. And it's kind of like a sensual commercial. I think that's the right word. And then when I think of grandma's table, like I am not thinking about that about grandma. Okay. I do not want sensual and my grandma in the same sentence. So when you think about your product promise, this is where it's so important to be super specific as to who you serve and what your product is and how it's different so it's not confusing to people. Because if this person has luxury and grandma in the same sentence and their content is sometimes luxury and sometimes grandma and their photos are sometimes luxury and sometimes grandma, it's going to lead to so much confusion, and a confused customer does not buy. So I had recommended to this person, and I hope you guys are using this as a good example. This was Kenzie, to determine, are your desserts luxurious or are they nostalgic like grandma? Which one is it? Pick one and be that one, and then redo the sentence with that in mind. Okay. Let's see here. Daniela, I want you to, that is like your tagline. We're talking about your product promise, which is different. I'm going to paste it again. You need to reformat that. That's your tagline. We're not talking about your tagline. Okay? Karen, I had commented back on yours. Sweet and sassy, sometimes snarky. Stickers are the best way to put a smile on your face. I like it. However, I am a little confused about sweet, sassy, and snarky, okay? When I think of a sweet sticker, I think of like, maybe it's like a Care Bear sticker or like a cat. When I think of sassy, maybe it's like, I don't know, a sassy sticker would be a sticker you put on the back of your car that says, "Stop riding my ass," or something like that, right? Which is kind of also snarky. I think of snarky as maybe it has swear words. So Karen, and this is a great exercise because I don't know your businesses very well from an actual person who's like unaware of what you sell, right? Great exercise, because you should be doing this exercise from the point of view of a customer who's never heard of your business before. I get confused. So Karen, maybe right now you do sweet stickers and sassy stickers and snarky stickers. However, what do you want to be known for? What type of stickers do you want to be known for? Because right now, what I had commented in the group, it's kind of like saying chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry are the best ice cream. Versus someone saying chocolate is the best ice cream on this planet. What one is bolder? The second one. Who's being specific? And then the people who love chocolate are going to be like, heck yeah, you're right. Chocolate is the best. So Karen, I want you to determine, and this may be hard because for some of you, you're trying to encompass all of your past products. I want you to think about from this point forward. What do you want to be known for? Niche down. Yeah, absolutely. And don't try to encompass your entire business up until today. Just be like, what do I want to actually be known for? Okay. Colleen, let's talk about yours. Luxurious soaps are the only way to have truly moisturized skin. I like that. I think I'll give it like a C. It's passing. It can be better though. Colleen, when you hear that statement, luxurious soaps are the only way to have truly moisturized skin, how many businesses right now do you think fall into that? 100 businesses, 200 businesses, 300 businesses, a lot of businesses. If you think about small businesses, big businesses, I don't think it's different or specific enough, because I can go onto Etsy and be like, this one looks luxurious, and so does this, and so does this, and so does that. I could go on to Instagram and find a ton of luxurious soaps. So Colleen, what I want you to consider is what makes your soaps luxurious. Is it a specific ingredient? Is it a specific butter? Is it a specific oil? One example from one of the PBA members, she does skincare, but she uses a ton of avocado oil. So her product promise is something along the lines of avocado oil infused skincare is the best way to prevent aging, to provide, I don't know if it's like, can't remember off the top of my head, to provide omega-3s externally to prevent aging or something like that. That's specific. She could say face oils are the best way to heal your skin. But she got super specific and she's attracting people to that specificity. So I would add a little bit of work there. A family recipe spice blend is the best way to elevate your meals with a flavor that reminds you of home. Ooh, buttons, I like that. Tell me more about your spice blends though. Is it all sorts of spice blends? Is it like, I'm going to totally butcher this, but is it like a German mustard spice blend, and then you have a Mexican spicy spice blend, and then you have a Caribbean jerk spice blend, and then you have trying to think of other flavors, an Italian herbal spice blend? Or are your family recipes like from a specific region, or have a specific profile of spice, or have a specific type of attribution to them? Because then I think you'll get more specific. Okay? Daniela, authentic Argentinian alfajores promise to bring you the sweetest curiosity. Ooh, I like it, except I want you to be less cute and clever and just tell me what it is. Authentic Argentinian alfajores are the best way to what? Is it experience a new treat that you've never tried before? So for example, is your audience non-Argentinian people and you want to expose them to it? That could be pretty cool. Is our authentic Argentinian alfajores are the best way to indulge in a caramel cookie dessert that you've never experienced before, that's from another country or something like that. Or the best way to expand your cultural dessert palette. I like that. Authentic Argentinian alfajores are the best way to expand your cultural dessert palette. It's like, ooh, you're targeting the people who like want something different, want something new, like to travel, something like that. And what I want to mention here is what I mentioned on Monday's training. This product promise is not something you're going to put on your website. It's not something you're going to put on your Instagram. It is just going to help you have clarity on how you're different. You can see with Daniela, it was first sweet curiosity to if she likes the one I mentioned, or if it's something different, totally cool too. But it transitioned to people who want to try something from another culture, people who love dessert but want something unique. Now it's totally different, and she can be like, ooh, that's my differentiator. Maybe I need to share more about like the Argentinian culture and have this be for people who love to travel, whatever it may be. And that's how this product promise can really start to help you know your difference maker. Ooh, Colleen, coastal inspired soaps are the best way to feel like you're on vacation every day. That's way different than what we saw. Luxurious soaps are the only way to stay moisturized. I love that one. And when you feel like you're on vacation, you're already kind of tapping into the luxury feel. I like that so much better. So strong. Magnetic leather jewelry is the easiest way to get it on and off by yourself. Ooh, Dawn, I like that. However, is the only reason people are buying your magnetic jewelry because it's easy to take on and off, or are they buying it first because they really like the design and then it's an added benefit that it can come on and off really easily? Leanna, grass-fed tallow skincare is the safest, cleanest way to heal your skin. I think this is another, like, I'll give you a C. It's great. It just doesn't evoke anything in me, right? Tell me more about your grass-fed tallow skincare. Tell me more about like your story and your passion and your purpose. Is it for family? When you talk about safe and clean, is it for family or is it for women? Is it truly, when you say heal your skin, like what are you doing? Is it healing acne? Is it dry skin? Is it aging? Is it something else? And tell me more specifics. I want you to get deeper on that, because there's a lot of grass-fed skincare out there and you need to have something that stands out. like something different. And it may be really like digging deep, really deep to understand what that difference maker is. It may not exist right now for some of you too. Infused with medicinal herbs, babies and adults, heating head to toe for the whole family. I like that a lot more, those buzzwords. So you could say grass-fed tallow infused with medicinal herbs. Tell me more about those medicinal herbs. Are you growing them in your yard? Is it essential oils? Tell me more. Is the best way to heal your skin from head to toe for the whole family, from babies to adults. That's stronger. That's already like, oh, okay, it's not just healing my skin, it's also for my kids. That's, oh, okay, it's also infused. So if you can tell me more about what it's infused with, you may even be able to take medicinal herbs to a stronger degree. But I like that so much better, so much more specific. Luxurious goat milk skincare is the best way to elevate self-care rituals into indulgent wellness experiences. Angie, I like that. Tell me more about your brand. Are you a luxury brand where like you see this being sold in spas or in spas that are $15,000 a night? Or do you see, is goat milk skincare, do you see that more of like an everyday household? I think luxurious is a really overused word, and I think people use it in multiple ways, which makes it really dangerous. I'd like for you to have a different adjective because luxurious is so overused. Leanna said sourced from organic farm, lavender, chamomile, calendula, rose, 12-hour infusion. Okay, I like this. Leanna, look, lavender, chamomile, calendula, rose. They are herbs, yes, but they're also flowers. Those are all flowers, right? Grass-fed tallow skincare infused with medicinal flowers is the best way to heal your skin from head to toe for the entire family. That is good. So much different than grass-fed tallow skincare is the safest, cleanest way to heal your skin, right? I hope you can see how that is much different. Cool. I'm going to do a couple more. Ben Kao said holistic bath and body fragrance products enriched with authentic Chinese herbal ingredients. Ooh, I like that. Is the embodying the essence of healing way to unify the mind, body, and soul. Okay. Great start. Ben Kao, would you ever use the word like Chinese medicine? I know you're saying authentic Chinese herbal ingredients. Would you ever say holistic bath and body products influenced by traditional Chinese medicine is the only way to unify the mind, body, and soul? I think that's really strong. Or something like, yeah, holistic bath and body products influenced by traditional Chinese medicine is the only way to elevate your mind, body, and soul unification, or something like that. It's a little bit bolder, but I love it because I think a lot of traditional Chinese medicine is mind, body, and soul. So how do we bring in like skincare, bath and body products is also part of mind, body, and soul, even another step further. So I would say you're pretty close with that. It's a little wordy. I want you to make it a little bit less wordy, but really, really good start. Okay. Fantastic. There's a couple other I want to talk through. Okay, Angie said, okay, fancy and luxurious I think are two different words, right? In my opinion. Oh, we got Shawana here too. Also a PBA member. Shawana, welcome to PBA if I'm not mistaken. I recognize that beautiful name. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Scalp enriching hair care is the best way to turn dreadful wash day into a spa day for your scalp. Beautiful. I love to turn dreadful wash day into a spa day. Yes, that is fantastic. Okay, let me do a couple that I mentioned in the chat that I said I would touch on. Rissa said, and this is great for you all to get some more practice as well. Rissa said, coconut and nut-free soap and skincare is the simplest way to nourish your skin, to heal your skin. I'd give Rissa here the same feedback that I gave to Leanna. We need to extrapolate more specifics, more differentiators, more uniqueness here. And like I said, for some of you, this is going to feel tough. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel difficult. But I want you really to get to a spot where you're like, this statement is so unique and I'm so freaking proud of it. So Rissa, I would say nourish and heal your skin is a little too vague. Get more specific there. Get deeper there. What is it actually doing? And why is it coconut and nut free? Because I think I saw, Rissa, that you mentioned something about allergy friendly. So you can add in, if your business is big on like the allergy play and making sure it's safe, bring that into your product promise. Once I get to like the 2-hour mark, I start to not have control of my words. And I start to mumble. Okay. There was one more I wanted to talk through, which was Angelica. And she said something similar that we've been talking about here, the word luxurious. So if you use the word luxurious in your product promise, I want you to answer the question, what makes it luxurious? It's probably an ingredient or it's something about it that makes it feel a certain way. It feels indulgent. It feels good on the skin. It feels like a treat. Like something is luxurious about it, or it's high end and it's expensive and it's a brand. It's a statement. It's a lifestyle. Like something like that is behind the word luxurious. So you have to ask yourself, what makes this luxurious? And change the word luxurious with that word. Okay. So Angelica had said, luxurious, irresistible, New York style cookies, the top pick for dessert level lovers, made with premium ingredients to satisfy your cravings. So number one, it's not really in a product promise statement. I'm going to change it to like luxurious, irresistible, New York style cookies are the best way to satisfy your cravings. But what I want you all to see with this product promise that's in the chat is there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many. We got luxurious. We got irresistible. We got New York style. We got made with premium ingredients. Another mistake I see is everyone is on the premium ingredient train. Everyone is talking about how they have clean ingredients and this ingredients and that ingredients, which is great. I'm not saying change that, but I'm questioning is that your main differentiator? For example, I know candle businesses who their main differentiator is they do snarky candles with swear words that are hilarious. And then they're also talking about like how their wax is coconut wax and their fragrances are phthalate free and blah, 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 blah. People are buying those candles because of the snarky sayings. So lean into the snarky sayings. And let the like holistic people who want clean products buy those candles if they want something snarky. And then if they need to do the research to see if it also fits their bill, cool. But that's not their like purpose. That's not their differentiator. And being careful here with these cookies, if premium ingredients is your main differentiator, fantastic. But if it's a secondary or tertiary, I think is the word, differentiator, use that in your content maybe, but just more sparingly. So Angelica, I would say, what makes your cookies luxurious? What makes them irresistible? What does New York style actually mean? And extrapolate on that, because there's so much more that can be said here. I'm going to think of like one of my favorite cookies. Oh my gosh, when I used to live in Chicago, it was called Big Fat Cookie, and they're these like monstrous cookies. So I'm going to create a cookie product promise for that business since I don't know what Angelica's New York style cookies look like. I'll say that double stuffed and over the top cookies are the best way to... What's a good solution? Like when I would buy those cookies, double stuffed I'll even say like triple stuffed and over the top cookies are the best way to make the most of every single moment of your life. Because when I would be eating one of those cookies, I'd be like, this is over the top. This is like making this normal moment right now just absolutely insane. It's so over the top. It's so unrealistic. It's so crazy. And words like triple stuffed, because these cookies would have massive amounts of stuff stuffed inside of them. Over the top, like that's what it is. And it's how to make the most of every single moment of your life. So that is how I would do a cookie one in that example. Okay, we have about 2 minutes left, you guys. We didn't get through all the product promises. This is something big that we do in Product Biz Academy because it does lead into everything that you touch afterwards. The brand designer takes the product promise and uses that to help create your brand and make the visual embodiment of it match your differentiator, which is huge. So I'm going to mention before we hop off here once more that if you want to join PBA and actually get the free rebrand or the free photo shoot, which was only available on Monday, I'm offering it to you guys either here live or if you watch the replay when you enroll by midnight tonight Pacific, and then you post in the group our secret phrase of I'm in, I joined, I did it, I'm so excited to be in PBA, something like that. Then my team will know, okay, secret phrase right there. She or he has got the rebrand or the bonus. We'll mark it behind the scenes on our tracker so that we know you have that. But that is my like exclusive special gift for you. So many people kicked themselves on Monday. I got so many messages. And if that was you, take this as your sign as, here you go. It's back just for you until midnight tonight. So take advantage of it. That promo also has the exclusive price of $249 per month. The cheapest, the absolute cheapest that Product Biz Academy has ever been. So if you want to join ASAP. I don't know if that $249 will be around next time I launch PBA. It's never been $249 before. I also don't know when I will open PBA next time around because I go into action mode to help my members and support them and give them guidance to make sure that they're seeing the growth in their business that they signed up to see. So with that, I'm going to keep this at 2 hours. You guys have the details here. I'll answer any other questions in the Facebook group. Like if you still have a product promise you want feedback on, post it in the group. I'm going to be in there all day tomorrow, all day today, so we can keep jamming on it. But I'm going to give my vocal cords a little bit of a break after these 2 hours and make use of this group for the next 2 days, okay? Ask questions. Be in the group. I'll be in there answering. If you found this helpful, let me know. I'm also always curious if I should do more of these in the group. Like, should I do another one tomorrow? I probably won't this time, but I'd love to know if this was helpful. Was it impactful? Was it cool to be in a little mini community and see some other people on this call? Tell me your honest feedback, and I'd love to hear from you all. And I will be popping in. You are amazing, Dawn. You guys are fantastic. Okay, talk to you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I am so excited to welcome you into PBA. Can't wait to see you in there. Take care.